What if you decided to get up and live? What would that look like for you? What does that sound like to you? Come on in. Today, I don't want to teach, I don't have a lesson to talk to you about. This is just something that I've been reflecting on. And I hear you. I read your messages. And I know one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was simply, what if you decided that you were going to get up and live? And I want to know, what does that look like for you? You know, this is my birthday month. I just celebrated another birthday. And what I normally do right before my birthday and even during the month, because we celebrate all month, right? I do a lot of reflecting. I'm a deep thinker anyway. Sometimes I think too much. But then there are those moments where I'm very reflective about where I am, where I want to be. And recently I heard myself say, I need to get up and live my life. And it was at the end of seeing so much happening in our world, so many young people losing their life, so many older people, middle-aged people unexpectedly losing their lives. And I heard myself say, I need to get up and live my life. It's one thing to get up, but what about deciding to live? I'm not talking necessarily about our physical life. That's valuable and important in itself. But what if you decided to get up and stop existing in your own life? I know that question is going to make you just sit and think for a second. And that's what I want you to do, because today I just want to sit with you. I just want us to have a conversation. And I also want to ask you, have you ever known that you have permission at any time, at any interval in your life, to pivot from the way you've been showing up for yourself, or the lack thereof, and decide, I'm going to get up and I'm going to live my life? Or are you still waiting for somebody else to tell you that it's okay for you to do that? I've been there. Trust me. I know what that feels like. I also know what it feels like to continuously abandon yourself in hopes that someone would feel and see that you're worthy to be in their life, part of their life, to give you their attention. But do you also know how that feels daily, to keep abandoning yourself when you're already worthy? We build these muscles along the way where, again, we need permission from others to tell us we can't change our mind, we can't live our dreams. But it comes to a point for all of us where that becomes so exhausting, and it has pushed us into a corner for so long that we have to make that decision. It's time for me to get up and live. And I will tell you this, many times it does not come with the agreement of others. The agreement that I'm asking you to make today, or I suggest you make, is with yourself. Getting up and living outside of the barriers that you put up to protect yourself, that are considered to be safe. Get up and live beyond the boundaries that someone else gave you maybe a long time ago. Get up and live beyond the self-inflicted abandonment and rejection that you've given to yourself. Because living in itself, that word is about life. It's life giving. But being in a constant state of repetition every day, being on autopilot, just going with the flow, not disrupting the waves, the water, and causing waves, it has become exhausting to you emotionally. Just like me, I had to make myself get up today. Yeah, because I was given a challenge to show up for 30 days on video. And it was easier to go back to what I normally want to do, and that's hide or go forward with one of my books or do this or do that. But we show up or we don't show up many days outwardly because our voice has been silent. Where in your life has your voice been silent? Well, why don't you start there with choosing to get up and live? What do you have to say? What does your voice sound like to you? Because after so long, your voice becomes stifled because you've allowed other people's voices to quiet yours and you don't recognize it anymore. I talk to a lot of women that realize that they've had all the titles, they've earned the careers, the degrees, but there's somewhere inside of them that's silent, but the silence has become loud. And they're choosing to get up even when their knees are buckling. They don't know what they're doing. You see, we don't have to always wait till this dramatic experience happens in our life. Death, divorce, relationships end, children go off to school. But many times, that's when things start to happening and we go into these deep thoughts as to where do I want my life to be? And we have to relearn what our voice is, relearn what our heart is saying, relearn what we truly desire. When I heard myself say recently, I am going to get up and live my life, I was just like you for many years, just existing. I've been doing the work internally for years. That still didn't stop me from getting to that moment of clarity where I had to say, I need to get up and live my life. For you, that's going to be a bold statement too, because you have been existing for so long. Your heart has been like this. Now, just coming from my medical background, I'll tell you this. There are moments when the heart needs a shock because it's just sitting there, just doing this, and it needs an electrical current to go through it, to reset it in order for it to function and for the blood to flow the way it's meant to. Our hearts get like that, not only physically, but spiritually. When you have been existing in your own sense of self, you've lost your ability to dream. You've forgotten what the foundation of you is, and you need a shock to go through it. Sometimes the shock is simply making a decision to want more, to be more, to desire more, to reconnect with your dreams, to speak up where you normally just go with the flow because it's safer. Now, this is not always about shouting, but it'll sound like you're shouting. It'll sound like you're shouting because now you're coming out of being mute. You were never meant to be muted. Your voice given to you has substance and it's needed. But you have to give yourself permission to use it again and again and again. Perhaps you got the degree because somebody thought it was a good idea and you went along with it. And now you're emotionally exhausted and your heart is needing a reboot. It's needing that shock to go through it so it can begin to pump at 100% capacity the way it was meant to. So I ask you today, what does it look like? What in your life and what does it sound like for you to announce to yourself, I'm getting up and living my life? I want to hear from you. This is for you to let you know that I hear you. I'm not necessarily teaching today. I just want to let you know that I hear you and I see you and that you're not alone. And wherever you are in your life, you can choose to pivot. You can choose to make a new decision and give yourself permission to live, be alive for you. Let me know in the comments how this resonates with you. What are you hearing me say for you? Because I see you and I hear you and I'm speaking just for you. It's time for you to live. You don't have to wait for your birthday like I did. In this moment, choose you. It's okay. You have permission to do that. Maybe that's the only decision you need today is choose you. Give yourself permission to live. I want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let's talk.